Staying dry, at first at least, for Northern Ireland, for northern and central England and East Anglia. Windy in the north, especially over the higher ground, and that will make it feel really quite cold through Christmas Day. Much milder in the southwest, but here it will be wet throughout Christmas Day, as well as for much of Wales, and then increasingly the Midlands, central southern and southeast England, as well as Northern Ireland. And as this rain moves north during Christmas Day night, it will mix with the colder air, and we're likely to see some snow for the higher parts of northern England, southern and central Scotland, primarily above 300 or 400 metres. And we're likely to see, with the strong winds, some drifting of that snow, so tricky conditions over some of the higher Pennine routes, as well as for some of the higher routes of central and southern Scotland. First thing, Boxing Day. That weather does fizzle out through the day, however, and it stays dry and bright in the north of Scotland, brightening up in the southwest, also in between showers, and it will be cloudy across much of England, Wales and Northern Ireland with outbreaks of rain on and off. Further rain at times on Monday, drying up on Tuesday and turning milder.
Canary Islands sponsors the weather.
You're watching GB News live across the UK and the world on our digital stream.
GB News is Britain's news channel.
We are the UK's home of discussion and debate from all perspectives.
We are here for you. Don't forget to join our YouTube community by clicking on that subscribe button.
And if you want the GB News app, you can click and catch up on programmes anytime.
We love to hear from you, so email us.
gbviews@gbnews.uk.
Thanks for being part of the GB News family.
My name is Andrew Doyle. Join me every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. for Free Speech Nation. This is a show where we address current affairs and news stories of the week with the help of two wonderful comedian panellists. I brought in comics because I want to give it a lighter edge, and also they work for less. See you there.
Join my show Farage, 7 p.m. till 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday, and there you will get opinion, analysis, debate, and I'll cover stories that nobody else dares to touch. And then for the last 15 minutes, talking pints. We're over a drink. We have a civilised conversation with someone. We very often disagree, but we do it in a grown-up way. Come and join me on Farage.
I'm Colin Brazier. I've reported from more than 70 countries around the world, covered wars from Afghanistan to Iraq, from Lebanon to the Balkans. I'm trying to bring that experience, that feel for events, to the studio. And something else, I'm ready to give an opinion. Today's stories with a spark. Brazier from 8 p.m. weekdays on GB News.
Good evening and a very, very Merry Christmas Eve to you all. Welcome to GB News. I'm Alastair Stewart. Coming up, Christmas is the time for making memories with our loved ones and bringing the family together. Well, a big part of my family includes our animals. The festive season wouldn't be the same without them. So I'm dedicating a good part of the next half hour to them. I'll be speaking to the RSPCA about why our pets make the festive season so special and why it poses a risk too for our pets. But first, let's bring you right up to date with all of the news. Here's Karen Roberts.
Thank you, Alistair. This is your news at 8 o'clock. A further 122,186 lab-confirmed COVID cases have been recorded in the UK in the latest 24-hour period, marking a third consecutive record day. Elsewhere, figures from the Office for National Statistics show a record 1.7 million people were infected with COVID-19 last week. Amid a steep rise in cases, vaccination centres will be open even on Christmas Day. Staff and volunteers are giving vaccines today, tomorrow and on Boxing Day as part of a Jingle Jab campaign. In this year's Christmas message, Boris Johnson is urging people to come forward to get a COVID booster jab.
We know that things remain difficult, but for millions of families up and down the country, I hope and believe that this Christmas is and will be significantly better than the last in this vital respect. That we can celebrate together with those we love and raise our glasses to those who can't be with us.
The UK is set to offer 12-month visas to social care workers in an attempt to combat staff shortages due to coronavirus. The temporary measures will come into effect early next year and are expected to attract thousands of staff. To qualify, migrant workers will need to be paid a minimum annual salary of £20,480. A drug which could halve the risk of death from some prostate cancers could be made available on the NHS. A study published in The Lancet found hormone therapy, abiraterone, could be effective in reducing the death rate of patients from 15% to 7%. More than 52,000 men are diagnosed with prostate cancer in the UK every year. And as millions of children eagerly await the arrival of Santa Claus this Christmas Eve, GB News can confirm that St. Nick has just been spotted above Bethlehem in Palestine. High-tech trackers from NORAD show that Rudolph and his fellow reindeer are helping to make good time this Christmas to ensure all presents are delivered. So far, over 2.9 million have made their way down chimneys, and he's now on his way to Egypt. And now it's back to Alistair.
Karen, thank you very much indeed. We're going to be talking about X.
A sound recognised by many on Christmas Day. At Carlisle Cathedral, up to 12 bells can ring at any one time. Behind the scenes, a well-trained team of bell ringers are on hand to create the perfect rhythm.
It was my first time ringing on a Sunday morning, so it was very nerve-wracking. Really enjoyable though, really enjoyed it, and it's sort of a culmination of my early training so far, so I've got a lot more practicing to do. A lot more people attend services at Christmas, and a lot more people sort of interact with the bells and listen to them and appreciate them. So it's just the tradition overall is what it means to me.
Once you've climbed 117 steps, you come here to the ringing room. People from all over the country come to ring the bells of Carlisle Cathedral. Bells which have been ringing since 1999.
In the UK, bells have traditionally been associated with Christmas for thousands of years, but groups began pulling bells on a rope around the 17th century. So how easy is it?
I started in 1999. The early stages I likened to like when you're learning to drive a car, when you have to change gear and signal and look and turn the steering wheel, all these different things you have to do all at the same time. And it's the same with bell ringing at the beginning, and eventually it just becomes automatic, some of those things, and you can just do them together, and it's like after COVID, we had a long gap during COVID, and when we couldn't actually ring the bells, and some people, when they came back, found it really hard to actually physically ring the bells again. But I think a lot of us who'd been ringing for longer, it was the muscle memory was there, and so we slipped back into it much more quickly.
It's not just at Christmas when the bells start ringing. The team practice every Friday and have pulled on some very special occasions.
Well, in recent times, of course, the Battle of Britain service, and then, of course, Remembrance Day, which is always very important. There's also a great tradition here that we ring for the birthday of Dean Rushdell, who originally gave some money for the restoration of the bells in 1925. And it is a condition of his will that we ring each year on his birthday, which we still continue to do. And of course, apart from Christmas, we have New Year coming, and we shall be ringing the bells for the New Year, we hope. So yes, there's plenty of ringing to be done.
Next time you hear the bells ring out, spare a thought for those at the end of the ropes. A joy to many who pull them, but even more for those who listen. Bradley Harris, Carlisle, GB News.
Most of our staff are fully vaccinated, but they still have to isolate if they're contacts, and we still have had staff contract COVID, and that puts huge pressure on our systems. We are always kind of running with just enough staff, and anything that puts that in danger is a real problem. So we're spending quite a bit of time having to reshuffle and be extremely flexible, and people take on different roles or wards to make sure that we're well staffed. The other thing that's difficult, I guess, is that this is just quite relentless. So we've been working through this for a long time now. It's tiring to work with PPE all the time. It's difficult trying to communicate well with people in PPE when they're at their sickest, and we're trying to show how much we care and to explain to them clearly what's happening. And that's difficult with all the challenges we have.
When you get abuse on Twitter or wherever, does it ever make you stop and think, am I right? Because this is quite a barrage.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm one of these people who occasionally likes to stick my neck out with things. Some can say that's being a little populist or deliberately controversial. These are all things that I do genuinely believe in. And I always say that, you know, if you don't believe something, don't say it.
Has it ever become more than just social media abuse?
I think where it crossed the line for me is when they start making comments about your family or threats and so on. And I think after I made the comment about taking the knee, I had one particularly unpleasant message that was sent to me. And it said basically about kneeling on my children's necks until they were dead because they wanted me to feel that pain. I had to speak to my wife about that, just to say, look, please don't get upset with this. Don't take it too personally. It's just idiots on a keyboard. It's not going to happen in real life. But I think sometimes people forget in terms of the security we have. My house, you know, it's been fitted with panic alarms and new locks and everything. And in my case, it was just a threat. The police dealt with it. They were great and so on. But it just does make you worry in future that something actually bad could happen.
You described Facebook as a morality-free zone.
That's been unkind to them that day, I think. Yeah. Facebook is a bit of a cult, let's be honest about it. I mean, it just appears to have a different agenda, in fact, than the other social media companies. And they have a huge impact on society, so therefore, they do need to engage properly with political process. I would like to see them take the approach that I do think some of the other ones are taking. We don't want to see society crumble. So therefore, what we need to do is we need to work to ensure that our platforms are still free, but at the same time, they still have at least an understanding of the social harms that can happen and proper processes in place in order to combat those. Facebook needs to come a long way towards that, and they're not doing it yet.
Lucy, would you like to lead your party one day?
I don't think I would. No, not really. I think the cost on one's actual life would just be far, far, far too great, to be honest. As women, we do weigh up those costs a lot more, the cost to our family, the cost to our lives. I think as women, we do generally, we wear that responsibility is weighted on us a lot more.
The Tory women seem to, I mean, come on, because they've done better. They've done better, considerably better than the Labour Party.
I know, but to be fair, there is I'm not being disparaging about it, but there is a sort of a different sort of culture with maybe people who are a bit posher about boarding schools and nannies and things like that. It's not quite the same as, you know, trying to pair up the socks and deal with the homework.
Sound system. It happens. I hope now that you can hear me loud and clear. I was just saying that we're a nation of animal lovers. It's Christmas time, and I just wanted to share with you that we too are animal lovers. We have four-legged friends who we've given new homes to over the years. Let me start with the elegant Lily. Lily there is our Boxer Labrador cross. She's a rescue dog from Greece. We have friends who support the GAF charity. And this one here is Suki, a Saluki Lurcher cross. And there's Lily when she was rescued from the streets fighting for her corner in Greece all those years ago. But it's not only dogs that we've helped. Here, all geared up for the festivities are Iggle Piggle, who we got from the RSPCA, and Hobnob, who we gave a new home to. But let's get back to the dogs now, and indeed to the RSPCA, because they're warning us to keep our eyes on our dogs this Christmas, as away from the love and excitement, it all poses a bit of a risk to their health. And I'm delighted to say that Dr. Sam Gaines, who is the pet welfare specialist there at the RSPCA, and Florence, you have the patience of an angel, both of you. I'm sorry that we kept you waiting. So let's cut straight to the chase and the serious stuff. What must we not feed these wonderful creatures at Christmas time that we love but is bad for them?
Evening, Alistair. Yeah, there's quite a few things that we need to be very careful about over Christmas. So chocolate, absolute no. If your dog ends up eating chocolate, then absolutely key that you contact your vet immediately. But there's other food items that we might not think about as well. So mince pies, Christmas pudding, things like that, anything that's got dried fruiting can pose a real risk to our pets, and also alcohol as well. So absolutely making sure that we watch our pets very closely over the festive period, particularly as this year is going to be quite an exciting festive period for many of us who haven't been able to spend it with our families last year.
Yeah.
You know, tomorrow is going to be really exciting, but we do have to keep a very close eye on our pets.
There's also a crucial thing, I know, and we've not got a lot of time for which, again, I apologise, but it's just the noise, the buzz, the excitement and the lights that can frighten them genuinely as well.
Absolutely. Christmas can be really chaotic. And I think we really need to think about this from our pet's point of view. It's really important that they have somewhere that they can go, where they can get away from everything and can have some peace and quiet. So just making sure that they do have somewhere like their bed, tucked in a quiet place, that if it all gets a bit too much, they can go and retire there and be left alone.
All right, I said at the beginning, and I now say it at the end because we've run out of time. You have the patience of an angel. I'm so grateful, Sam. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
So that was Sam Gaines for the RSPCA. Don't give them what you love. Don't give them chocolate. Don't even give them leftovers. Look after them and give them a space where they can cool out. Coming up in the next hour, Nigel Farage looks back at some of his best guests, and I'll be back with you at 10 o'clock. Bye for now.
It's time to remind ourselves there's always another winter. Canary Islands sponsors the weather.
Hello again. The weather this Christmas is all about the contrast. Cold but bright in the north and east, rain elsewhere and fairly mild in the southwest. And you can see those contrasts on this map. The blues there across northern parts of the UK, whilst milder air affects southwestern areas, and these weather fronts moving in and then stalling through central zones. So for Christmas Eve night, an area of rain moving north across central parts of the country, tending to fizzle out through the end of the night, but leaving a lot of cloud and damp conditions. Heavier rain returns to South Wales and the southwest. Milder here, but for Scotland, clear spells through the night means frost to wake up to on Christmas Day, with temperatures in sheltered spots below freezing. That's where the lion's share of sunshine will be for Christmas Day itself, particularly northwest and west Scotland. Patchy cloud elsewhere. Staying dry at first